Pangasinan, married, very supportive, no? Nandyan pa siya. Married to Dr. JesusaNovestera with 3 children. A graduate of Bachelor of Science in Psychology at UP College, Baguio in 1985. Her masterate in Education, major in Guidance and Counseling at ZS Colleges in 1996, and her doctorate in Education, major in Educational Management at the Tarlac State University in 2008. A licensed teacher, a career service professional, and a licensed guidance counselor. A member of the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association, and to date, she is the Tarlac chapter president of PGCA. Tarlac Guidance Counseling Association po yung PGCA. A DepEd Guidance Counselor Association Tarlac Chapter Vice President. And she holds a wide array of experience of being in the helping and teaching profession, be it sa basic education, be it in higher education, and graduate school program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct joy to present to you Dr. JesusaNovestera, EDD, RGC.
Thank you, sister. Pinangarap ko kung magsuot ng ganyan. But I have another calling. Okay. I see familiar faces. Okay. Some are licensed counselors. Some are already practicing for a quite long period of time. Kita ba sa buhok? Okay, so magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I was expecting that today will not be a sunny day. It will be a rainy day because of Dudu. Kanyang si Dudu. But then it turned out to be the opposite. Mukhang magaling magdasal yung mga kasamahan po natin. Lalo-lalo na yung mga sisters. Okay? I have another colleague supposed to be this morning. Supposed to be at Camp Aguinaldo, but I prioritize this advocacy in the guidance and counseling profession. So my talk will revolve around 2. I would like to talk about the counseling profession first, and later on, our role in the new curriculum, the very controversial, pinag-uusapan po ngayon, the K-12. Okay? So, as I see, there are licensed counselors here. One is my former student, Ms. Bina. Sino pa po yung mga RGCs natin? Si Ma'am Balimpat po, yung pioneer licensed counselor. And si Ms. Tani, yan, the head of the Guidance and Counseling Unit of Don Bosco. Okay, so, why are we here? Why are you here? Is it because of your advocacy in this profession, because of this calling, or just being obedient to your superiors? Kasi po, pina-attend po ako. Kasi po, ako po yung mukhang pinakamabait sa mga faculty. Kaya ako mas qualified na umupo bilang guidance counselor. Okay? Pero I know we have one thing in common. So we have this advocacy to help our students, our pupils. So let me start my talk with the first one, the counseling profession. Para naman medyo ma-boost yung moral ng mga hindi pa licensed or those who are just working towards this licensure. Counseling profession. So we define it based on the Republic Act 9258 Guidance and Counseling Act of 2004. So this is a profession that involves the use of an integrated approach to the development of a well-functioning individual, primarily by helping him or her to utilize his/her potentials to the fullest and plan his or her future in accordance with his or her abilities, interests, and needs. So with this definition, we will be able to capture important or key terms here. It is an integrated approach. So you make use of several approaches, different models to implement a program. With the end of, what is the purpose? You want to produce well-functioning individuals. When you say well-functioning, they would develop a wholesome personality, developing all the aspects of their personality, not only physical, moral, spiritual, but an overall. Okay? How? Making use of the potentials in accordance with their abilities, interests, and needs. So, before, there was no license. Wala ka po, no? Kung sino na lang yung pinaka-babait or mature o kaya morally upright sa tingin ng mga superiors, siya binibigyan or binibigyan ng designation. Okay? But now, it is a profession. It is actually the 44th profession among the 46 professions regulated by the PRC. Okay? While it is one of the youngest regulated professions in the Philippines, it is recognized and established worldwide. Actually, our organization or association, the PGCA, is the accredited professional organization of the PRC. And it is recognized by ACA, American Counselors Association. There. Okay. So, who is this guidance counselor? Yung kinatatakutan, pag dumaan sa corridor, nagtatakbuhan ng bata. I remember, when I was a guidance counselor in this institution for 10 years, pag dumaan ako sa corridor, nagtatakbuhan yung mga bata. Ayun na yung guidance counselor. Ayun na si Miss Austria. No? Tumatakbo sila, natatakot sila. It is because these teachers make use of my name, kanabot. Pag hindi kayo tumahimik, ipapag-guidance namin kayo. No? Or sometimes, pag may nakakausap akong mga alumni, uy, never akong nag-guidance ha. Never akong dinala sa guidance office. Bakit kaya? No? So we have this perception about counselors before. But now, who is this guidance counselor? So, a person before she can practice the profession, he must be a Filipino citizen. Yan. With ito, valid certificate of registration and a valid professional identification card by the PRC in accordance with 9258, otherwise known as the Republic Act. Okay, 9258. Philippine Guidance and Counseling Act of 2004. Okay. So, this guidance counselor should be a part of the education team. Dati, siniset aside lang yan. No? When it comes to planning, hindi siya kasama. Kasi yung kanyang office, yung bodega na kinonvert into a guidance office o kaya sa silong ng hagdanan. Ganun po ang nangyayari din even in the private school, public school, even at Tete. Okay? O kaya nakikishare lang yan sa library, no? O kaya sa office ng principal. Okay? So, he's a part of the education team and that he plays an integral role in the academic, career, personal, social, emotional, moral, and spiritual development of all students or pupils. So imagine the totality of the personality of the individual. So he implements strategies and activities to support and maximize each student's ability to learn and help them make informed choices regarding post-secondary options and complete future career goals. With the implementation of the senior high school, guidance counselors are given a very crucial role, okay? Especially this coming school year, 2015-16, because you will be catering to the needs of the first batch of the K-12 as to which track they should choose, okay? So the overall role of a guidance counselor is to assist, take note of the term, to assist individuals to develop their potentials to the maximum and help them adjust to the social realities of life. So nilagyan ko ng red yung assist, the term assist, and help. It is because, as also mentioned by the President a while ago, that counseling or guidance and counseling is not synonymous to the term advising. No? Delikado po yun. No? When you give advising. Actually, in the certificate that we received from the PRC, ang nakalagay po doon, taga-pamatnubay. No? Taga-pamatnubay. So, guide, no? We give guidance to individuals. So what is the role of these counselors? Not only to the individual, not only from the standpoint of the individual, but what about from the standpoint of the society? Ano ba ang nagagawa natin? Okay? So our country, or the Philippines, recognizes the important role of guidance counselors in nation building. As a profession, it is tasked within the development of well-functioning individual, primarily by helping him or her to utilize his or her potentials to the fullest and to plan his or her future in accordance with his abilities, interests, and needs. Okay? So, we consider this concept as very important, especially when it comes to career counseling. No? We will be underscoring this term, career counseling, which will be another module to be presented by Ms. Tami after lunch. No? Kasi doon talaga papasok yung role ninyo, no? Under the K-12. So what are the duties and responsibilities of a guidance counselor? Still, I'm talking from the point of view of this law, no? It's a RA, this is a Republic Act. So, counseling is considered to be the heart of the guidance program. Kaya inuna ko po, no, yung counseling. So, as a counselor, you attend to students requiring guidance and counseling sessions as may have been referred by faculty members, school administrators, parents, and others. You will conduct individual and group counseling sessions with students who have personal, academic, disciplinary, or vocational concerns. But the question here is, I'm not a licensed counselor. Am I qualified to give counseling to the students? Okay, based from the law, you are not qualified. There are limitations, especially when it comes to counseling and testing. Okay, but if you are a licensed psychometrician, you can do the testing. No? So, ano na lang ang gagawin ko? Sabi nung iba, yung guidance counselor namin, nagpa-Bible study na lang sila pag may problema yung bata. Okay, there's nothing bad about it, no? But then, looking at your function as a counselor, no? Since it is the heart of the program, it is the application of all other services that you do. You do individual inventory, you gather information, you do research, you do evaluation, and the end of this would be application to this service, counseling. Eh, ano gagawin ko? No? Miss Vina, what did you do before when you were not yet licensed? Okay. So, may sinasabi dyan ang batas. Ano naman ang sabi ng K-12? Enhanced Basic Education. Meron siyang sinasabi, no? Papakita ko sa inyo mamaya. Huwag mawala ng pag-asa. Kaya nyo ba? At pwede-pwede kayo. Okay? Okay, another facilitates initial interview to all freshmen and transferees. This is for admission purpose. Prepares counseling reports, case studies, and profiles of students. Conducts case conferences involving the significant others in the life of the counselor. Okay. There, provide individual sessions for students about educational and personal concerns. Assist students to understand and overcome social and emotional problems. Make him or herself available to all students seeking guidance and counseling services. Okay. Look at number 7. You have to be available to all students or pupils or clients seeking your service. Yung iba hindi. Sandali lang, di pa ako nakakapagsukay, nandiyan kami. No? Sandali lang. No? May text pa ako. Dali na mag-Facebook muna ako. No? Saka na lang kayo pag-break naman. O kaya, there will be referral. Yung malapit ng 5. Alisin ko na. Alis na ako. Saka na lang bukas na lang yan. Okay? And then, there was this story about a student who was asking for counseling or just looking for someone to talk to because of a problem. Sabi ng guidance counselor, nagmamadali ako pwede bukas na lang. Okay, pagpabukas na lang natin. And you know what, the following day, there was this bad news. Nagpakamatay na yung bata. Kasi wala siyang makausap. See? So, you have to be available to all clients. Ako talagang chinaga ko, no? I have this dilemma of transferring to DepEd before. Kasi sabi ko, sa private school kasi ang babang mo ng mga estudyante. Paglipat ko, I was first assigned at Corazon Aquino High School. Yung malapit sa inyo, no? When students will come to me, they're not in uniform, and you could not reprimand them for not wearing the uniform. Okay? Even parents. And then, naka-air condition yung aking room. When they leave, talagang nahihilo ka sa amoy. But then, it's a calling. No? So, kumbaga, regardless of the status of this person in life, what matters most is you will create a difference in the life of this student or client. He develops personal and professional growth plan and demonstrates professional ethics and leadership. Ethics. Okay, very important. Helps students develop skills in the areas of personal, social growth, educational planning, and career development that will contribute to their growth as mature and responsible members of the society. Bilisan ko lang po ito, no? Kasi introduction lang. Okay. Another conducts group counseling as the need arises. Okay. If the ratio of guidance counselor client is 1:2, the ideal is 1:500. That is according to American School Counseling Association, ASCA. 1:500. That's ideal, but we couldn't do that, especially in the public school. When I was first assigned at Corazon Aquino High School, we have 2,000 students. So 1:2,000. When I was the guidance coordinator of Tarlac High School, and I was the only licensed, so I have to do the counseling. The ratio was 1:7,000 plus. Sabi nila sa akin, Wonder Woman, darna. I'm supposed to come to school at 8 o'clock, 8 to 5, because non-teaching po yun. But because of the number of clients, I come to school at 7, sometimes 6:30, kasi shifting po yun. And then go home at 5:30 or sometimes 6. Lalo kung meron kang batang may, there are a lot of problems actually, no? Okay? So, kaya yung iba dapat huwag nagre-reklamo, no? Yung Nag-iisa ako wala akong kasama. Okay? So, solution to that, you do group counseling. Especially for students or children with common problems. For example, bumabagsak. No? So you can do a session with these students. Or, napakarami pong bully ngayon, no? Private or public, there are a lot of bullies. Okay, so you can do group counseling. Pero huwag niyo pong kalimutan si victim. No? Isama niyo po si victim at isama niyo rin po si bystander. Okay? Maintains and keeps confidential records as required. Attends to faculty who are in need of counseling. This is very true. No? Last time, when I was in Tarlac High, merong teacher umiiyak. I need counseling, sabi niya. Why? Sabi ko, kasi po, I was reprimanded by my department head. Sabi niya, I'm not doing my duty well as a teacher. Sabi ko, so what seems to be the problem? Sabi ko, sabi niya, nakita ko, hindi pala niya gusto maging teacher. She wanted to be an engineer. She was just forced to take up education. But the mother is also a teacher, and the sister who is also a teacher. So we did a career pathing. Kaya nung lumabas siya sa office, medyo masaya na siya. Okay? So our clients is not limited to the students. We also have teachers, parents, or even our administrators or principals. Okay? Counsels walk-in students and those who are referred by faculty or students. Sino ba dapat nire-refer? Sino ba dapat ang pinapadala sa guidance office? Yung bang nakipagsuntukan? Yung bang mga, ano ba yun? Ang mga discipline problems? Okay, so, titignan natin to, no? What else? Hence, the annual guidance day of the career guidance or the career guidance week celebration. So, there is a department order wherein, by the sa DepEd, no? Wherein July is declared as a month where we celebrate guidance week. Any week of the month. No? But then, that is just a culminating activity because you do not do career counseling when the students are in 3rd year or 4th year. When do you do it? When do you do career planning? The moment the individual enters the school that leads as early as kinder. No? Pwede ba yun? No? Pwede ba yun? Nagka-career counseling or career planning na mga kinder? Yes. Do you know that I discovered that some of the students do not even know the occupations of their parents. No? When I do the intake interview, prior to counseling, tatanungin mo, anong trabaho ng tatay mo? Hindi ko po alam. Umuwi lang po siya sa amin pag Sabado. Kung saan siya nag-work, hindi ko po alam. Okay? So, dapat kinder pa lang yung mga bata na orient na, no? Okay. Next. Another service of the guidance office is testing. Who can do this? The licensed counselor or the licensed psychometrician. Or if the school is lucky to employ a psychologist, is also qualified to do this. So in testing, we interpret psychological test results to the students and those who are in need of the result, like the administrators or teachers for planning. Recommends the use of relevant psychological assessment tools and undertakes the acquisition of identified testing instruments. Yes, there is a requirement as to who can purchase testing materials. Not everybody can do this. Even if you have the money, hindi pwede. But you have to be certified or accredited. Miss Pia, where's Miss Pia? I know you came from the private school, no? Galing ka ng Holy Spirit. But you are now with still private school? No, sorry. Sa Wellspring. So, I'm sure you have a very functional guidance program. No? Do you do testing? Mga mayayamang schools, no? Marami po silang testing materials. Okay? Networks with other testing centers and similar institutions for the availment of psychological services as the need arises. So if the school is not capable of doing this or giving a functional testing program, you can network or hire organizations like the CEM, Center for Educational Measurement. They can provide you with a program. Acts as custodian of test materials, ensuring their security and confidentiality. Bistami, sa mo nilalagay yung mga testing materials? Locked. No? Yung steel cabinet pa. Because these are highly confidential. Not only the materials itself, but even the results. Okay, conducts testing surveys as an adjunct to counseling. Testing is just a means to an end. Yung iba, ayan, nakapagpa-test na ako. Natapos na yung end, kaya dito na yung results ng NCAE. Compiled, nasa cabinet. Wala na. No, naalikabok na yung result. You make use of these results. These are very important, okay? Because when you do your programs, this should be data-driven, no? Lahat dapat ng ginagawa natin should be backed up by data. Yung mga results ng research, for example, or sa testing. Even at DepEd, we do evaluation studies. So as to determine whether a program should continue or not. So it should be data-driven. Likewise in counseling, we do this. So when you do counseling without a result or without any data, it's just like doing it as, ang tawag doon, counseling without data is quackery. Parang ang Dr. Quack daw, no? Na may client na walang data. So for example, when you do career counseling, you should have data about the individual or the student. Okay? Another service, we have the information service. Collects information and then takes ito, profiling ng mga estudyante because of a lot of questionnaire, surveys, and cumulative. So sana naman very supportive po yung ating mga school administrators kasi kadalasan yung guidance counselor po ang gumagastos. Before, no? Okay? Record files and other anecdotal records, reading materials, as well as during parents' assembly. Okay. Disseminates guidance-related information through mga bulletin boards, gazettes, room-to-room campaign, especially for career advocacy, no? Records, test results, data, and cumulative folder of the students. Okay. Another, we have the placement and follow-up. So, you need to network with agencies, institutions, health service providers for possible outside referrals. And who are these institutions or agencies? You can network with DSWD. Okay? Sino pa? Kanino ka nag-establish ng linkage or network, Ms. Tammy?
Dole po meron.
Okay. Dole. You can invite them, especially the PESO, to give you free seminar on career coaching. Ms. Vina? Dole. Sila lang? DSWD? Hindi.
Sa kanila.
Or even NGOs, LGUs. Okay. Coordinates with other companies for possible placement of graduating students and out-of-school youth. And especially if you have the high school. Conducts follow-up studies on cases regarding clients and undertakes referrals to NGOs and other government agencies concerned as may be necessary. Honestly, we had a problem regarding that so-called kidnapping, no, sa Tarlac sa mga estudyante namin. Pero negative po yun, dismiss yung kaso. So we had a tie-up with the PNP and the DSWD, with the parents, okay, for during the investigation. Although the case didn't happen, the incident didn't happen in school, but they are our students and they keep on carrying the name of the school. Okay. Facilities follow-up counseling sessions to all students and conducts exit interview to graduating students. Patrabaho, mag-1,000 yung estudyante, no? But we do this. No? Maski na inaabot ka ng alas 6 sa school, carry pa rin. Follow-up special counseling cases such as referrals, home-in counselors. Okay. You also do consultation with whom? Their Chief Discipline Officer regarding disciplinary cases of students and attends the disciplinary committee meetings. Take note that guidance counselor should not be the discipline officer. So let's do paradigm shifting. Dati, ganito yan. No? The guidance counselor is also the discipline officer. But now, under the law, hiwalay yan. Okay? Kasi ang nakikita ko ganito eh. If you are the guidance counselor and you are the discipline officer, para bang papatukan mo yung estudyante tapos hihimasin mo. Diba? Binigyan mo ng sanction and then later on, you do the counseling session. How would you make the student open up? No? Iba yung tingin niya sa'yo, no? Nagbigay ka ng sanction. So, what we did at Tarlac High, meron kaming program for tawag namin parang kanina yata yun. Basta hiniwalay namin ang discipline office with that of the guidance office. So, after the sanction, there would be referral. Dadali naman yan sa guidance office for counseling. We can also do this in the private school. But who will be the discipline officer? No? Kasi ang tingin sa mga guidance counselors, they are motherly, very accommodating. Pagpasok mo pa lang sa opisina, dapat ang ngiti nila nakaganyan, no? Para naman yung mabigat na dinadala ng client mo ay nawawala. No? Ang hirap po mag-transform. No? Maging mukha kang monster pag may dinalang discipline case. Tapos susunod, counseling ng estudyanteng mabigat ang problema. No? So, the two functions should be separate. And who, by the way, who will give the sanction? It's not the guidance counselor, not even the discipline officer. But who can do it? It's the principal. Ang principal po, ang may power, may authority na magbigay ng sanction. At in a public school, a principal can give the suspension for, if the suspension is not more than 3 days. Pag hanggang 3 days po, or even 5 days, pwede po ang principal. More than that, should be referred to the division office. But what we are doing now is not more on giving suspension. Kasi pag nagbigay ka ng suspension sa bata, bakasyon siya, bakasyon grabe. Tuwa-tuwa yun. Masaya siya. Oh. With the consent of parents, so after the case conference, no, with the consent of parents, they do community service. Like, naglilinis sila tumutulong sa library, no? Para maramdaman nila kung ano pala yung hirap na nagtatrabaho. Nagbubulot ng damo, pero hindi namin po pinapaarawan. Baka po ma-charge po kami ng child abuse, no? Isa po yun, no? Yung sa child protection policy. Okay. Next, coordinates with teachers and parents of students with academic and behavioral problems. Also, we do this every quarter, no? Tinitingnan yung mga academic achievement nila. So, ano nangyayari dun sa mga bagsak? No? They are to be given counseling. No? Pwede sila dun sa group counseling. Consults with other allied professionals being seen by students who at the same time are seeking counseling help. Okay? There. Research and evaluation. This should not be neglected. As I mentioned a while ago, your activities should be data-driven. Okay? So, you coordinate with the staff, faculty, and administrators in designing and conducting research studies to determine the students' profiles as well as their needs and concerns and assess the effectiveness of the guidance program. So, there should be an evaluation of the program every year, or annual evaluation, so that you will be able to identify the strength and the weaknesses of the program and come up with an enhanced program or guidance program addressing the weaknesses or the problems. Evaluates the testing program of the office and recommends changes as well as new tests for the effective assessment of the students' overall performance in school. Also, making use of testing materials as a means to gathering data is very necessary. I know in the private schools, you're very lucky to have testing materials. No? Mayayaman po kasi kayo eh. Marami po kayong pambili. No? Sa amin po sa DepEd wala. No? We just rely on the result of the NAT and the NCEE. Okay? Or if we are that resourceful, we can tie up with other schools. Just like one school, mayroon siyang tie-up sa TSU or TCA to conduct the different tests. Okay, as part of the testing program. Initiates empirical studies and researches relative to counseling. Ayan, designs and implements evaluation instruments for feedback giving regarding the delivery of the guidance and counseling survey, issue evaluation instruments to all freshmen who've undergone the initial interview. That's more on gathering data. And then we also have special programs and services. So administers evaluation material for students who avail of the counseling service, organizes special tasks or forum seminars related to counseling that will aid the promotion and marketing of the school. At gagawin ko yan mamaya, no? In the name of OSIAS, because I sit as the chair of the MAED Guidance and Counseling Program of the graduate school. Perform such other duties and responsibilities analogous, germane, or related to, implied for the above. Enumeration of duties and responsibilities in short, and others. Pero, fellow counselors, mayroon po yung and others, no? Minsan, di na. Do you agree? Minsan mas marami yung and others. Well, it's just a way of collaborating. You know, counselors in the 21st century should be active, collaborative, and they should be accountable for all their activities. Okay? Let's take a look at the profile of counselors in the Philippines. At present, there are approximately 3,000 guidance counselors in the country who are licensed or registered by the PRC. 1692 are under the grandfather's clause plus the examinees, so that make up 3,000 plus, more or less, no? Approximate. Last year, there were only 500. Nung batch niya Vina, ilan ang pumasa? 500 lang, ano? Okay, so very, very small percentage. It's because they say there is a very high requirement for one to qualify for the licensure exam, and that is you should be a holder of MA, Guidance and Counseling. Most of these guidance counselors are employed in schools, both public and private. Others are sa HR, they are consultants, coordinators, supervisors, while others have their own clinic. Pwede bang mag-put up ng clinic ang guidance counselor? Yes, provided you are licensed. Okay? And you can do tie-up with psychiatrists or psychologists. Marami pong naghahanap ng ganyan. Lalo yung mga gustong magpa-anal. Tapos ang charge ay psychological incapacity. Okay? There was one lawyer who was asking me to do partnership with her. Sabi ko, ayaw ko yung trabaho niyan. No? Yung mga para nag-workout ng analin. Okay? So, by the school year 2015-16, this coming school year, our potential clients in grades 7 to 10 is 5.76 million. Ganun karami ang bata sa Pilipinas. In 11 to 12, soon, no? For senior high, we will be catering to 2 million students. Okay? And if the ideal counselor client ratio is 1:500, according to ASCA, we need 15,520 counselors in the public schools alone. Sa public lang po yun. What about private schools? Marami po ang private schools. And if the ratio is 1:1,000, we need 7,760 counselors. So this is data released by the PRC, no? Nung nagkaroon ng survey. 7,760 against 3,000 licensed counselors. So kulang na kulang. Kaya kailangan po kayo dito sa advocacy na ito. Okay. Ayan, so 57. So, requirement to be a licensed counselor. Of course, minimum requirement is a master's degree in guidance and counseling. Ano ba yung mga competencies? Pag competency, pinagsama your knowledge, your skill, and your attitude wrapped together. No? So, a counselor is able to monitor, maintain his or her fitness, and update her competencies to practice at a level that enables him to provide effective service. A competent counselor. Okay, so when you receive your accreditation or your license as a counselor, that is not the end. You still need to do CPE. Gamit tinatawag po tayong CPE, Continuing Professional Education. Like attending seminars or conferences to upgrade your competencies. Has regular and ongoing continuing education in view of professional development. Kaya po, even our colleagues in the PGC or other organizations, they keep on upgrading their competencies. Okay. So the practice of GNC depends on gaining and honoring the trust of clients. Giving trust requires an attentiveness to the quality of listening and respect offered to clients, culturally appropriate ways of communicating that are courteous and clear, maintaining respect for privacy and dignity, and careful attention to clients' consent and confidentiality. In short, you have to abide by the counselor's code of ethics. Otherwise, if you will be charged of violating this, then your license will be revoked. Kawawa ka. Even teachers, no? Pag may ginawang violation, di ba? Nawawala din po ang license. So, clients are entitled to standard of good practice from practitioners in guidance and counseling. And these standards of good practice require professional competence, good relationship with clients and colleagues. Meron ba mga guidance counselors na may kaaway? Meron daw po. Kaya tinatawag po silang misguided counselors. No? Sometimes I would hear this comment, guidance counselor pa naman. No? Okay. So, good relationship with clients and colleagues and commitment to the observance of professional ethics. Okay. I remember there was this counselor who would do group counseling with KISE students. And after that, after the sharing, he would tell what transpired during the conversation to other teachers. In short, papatalsik po siya. No? Okay. Good quality practice requires competently delivered services that meet the client's need by guidance counselors who are appropriately supportive and accountable. Okay. Parang review lang ito, no? Traits and characteristics of a counselor. You have to be competent, you have to be intelligent. No? Both. Ayan, cognitive and emotional. Meron kang IQ, meron ka rin EQ. Okay? Yung ibang Q. SQ, social quotient. No? Barbecue. ESQ. Marami rin mga lalaking guidance counselors, no? Sana bitawan nila yung ESQ. Alam niyo po ba yun?
Yes. Extra smooth.
Alam ko. Ang galing. Ang galing naman ni sister. Sister, ano po yung ESQ?
ESQ, wrong yan.
Oh, extra smooth quality.
Always.
Okay, understanding, genuine, open-minded, assertive but not combative. You have to be assertive to assert, especially your rights. Pero in a way na hindi ka nakikipag-away. Okay? Maski galit na medyo smile ka pa rin at medyo mababa pa yung boses. No? You're committed, dedicated, caring, nurturing, approachable, accommodating and have the self-control. Hindi yung kaagad-agad tumataas ang boses sa mga estudyante or to your client or any transaction. Flexible patient loves to work with people. No? Pero kung ang type mo sa computer na lang, mag-Facebook, you will not be an effective counselor. Service-oriented, supportive, fit to practice physically and emotionally, and you are resilient. Okay? Physically and emotionally. That's why in some of the trainings, we give self-care management to our counselors. How to manage stress and how to be an empowered counselor, because you couldn't give what you didn't have. Like when you are giving counseling, tapos inuubo ka, binubugahan mo yung estudyante mo, no? So you have to be healthy. Okay? And you have to be also emotionally stable, resilient. She had the ability to bounce back to normal after a problem. Okay? Yeah. To qualify for the licensure, there are these degree programs approved by CHED. By virtue of Resolution Number 1, Series of 2010, ito, EDD Guidance and Counseling, EDD Guidance, and OCS Colleges is offering, yung pinakahuli po, Master of Arts in Education, major in Guidance and Counseling. Yung pong panglima. In Region 3, there are only 4 institutions offering graduate program in counseling. One is TSU, 2 schools are in Pampanga, sa Angeles, and 1 is OCS Colleges. So 4 lang po. In the Philippines, there are only 57, I guess, no? Or 57 schools offering this program. So, iba-iba lang po ang tawag. Guidance and counseling, clinical psychology, family psychology. So, what will be your option after graduation if you're a graduate of this MA guidance? At first, you can be a guidance staff, assistant, guidance counselor, a career guidance advocate, may take charge of student organizations, coordinator of student activities, manager of dormitory for sa mga tertiary schools po, no? Take charge of food services, scholarship programs, and grant and aids, coordinator of social, cultural, and religious activities. Pwede ba kami tawaging guidance counselor? Okay. The term guidance counselor, technically, by virtue of the Republic Act 1958, could not be used for individuals who are not licensed. Kaya anong tawag sa amin? Tinatawag po sila guidance advocate, guidance worker. No? Pero bottom line doon, ganun din yun, guidance counselor din. No? Pero nga lang, may mga limits when it comes to our functions. Okay. So your career path for the next 5 to 10 years. So once you are licensed, you can work as guidance counselor 1. In the government service, we have guidance counselor 1, 2, 3, then guidance coordinator 1, 2, 3, and then you can also be a guidance specialist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can be a guidance supervisor, director of guidance, head of human resource department, or a vice chancellor of student affairs, or may even become a president of a university. Okay. So yun pa pong mga presidents ng private universities, mga guidance counselors po sila. That's why they're very supportive to our profession. Okay? Question about the profession. So, sino pong gusto maging licensed guidance counselor? Exciting po. Sabi sa akin, ano bang kagandahan ng guidance counselor? Pag guidance counselor ka, sikat ka. You give a lot of trainings, you give in-service training to students, to teachers, administrators, or even outside your school. Pag may problema, hinahanap ka. No? Hinahanap ka ng teacher, hinahanap ka supervisor, hinahanap ka ng parent, hinahanap ka ng principal. Okay? Because they know you are capable of giving them the service. Okay? So, yung mga gustong maging guidance counselor, bukas po ang OCS colleges para sa inyo.
Yes.
So, gano'n po ito katagal? Kunin. 2 years po. So, I guess there are only 36 units, and that includes the thesis writing. Meron pong thesis writing. Yun. Ayan si Vina. She belongs to the first batch of guidance counselor. Now a licensed counselor. Si Miss Tammy is a product of TSU. Okay, now heads the guidance department of Don Bosco. Okay?